Welcome to a new episode of Opening Bid. I'm Yahoo Finance Executive Editor Brian Sozzi. This, of course, the podcast I hope that will make you a smarter investor. Actually, I just know it will make you a smarter investor. Before I get to our big interview of the episode, have to hit on our stock of the day, and I'm back at talking all things Target. Oppenheimer putting the stock on its top pick list after a full-on earnings drubbing a week ago. Stock fell more than 20%. Company missed on sales, earnings, margins, cut the outlook. There was nothing good in this report at all. But Oppenheimer is seeing three reasons to get optimistic on the stock. Reason number one, thinks the holiday guidance from Target fully captures all the holiday risks. In other words, maybe all those 50, 60, 70% promotions that Target may offer is already priced into the stock. Number two, still upbeat on the long-term prospects for Target, thinks the business can get back to producing same-store sales gains. I would add, for that to happen, the economy probably has to get a little bit better, and Target probably has to sell more fresh food. Target needs more food. And last but not least, Oppenheimer making the point that investor sentiment remains very negative. Well, yeah, it really can't get any worse than what you saw from Target a couple weeks ago after earnings. So investor sentiment very negative there. Target, my stock of the day. But on to our really big interview. It would not be a holiday season for me without talking to Mickey Drexler, CEO of Alex Mill.
Nope, not CEO.
Not the CEO.
Chairman.
Chairman of Alex Mill. It's good to see you.
You too.
I haven't seen you like in a year. I saw you with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, invite me more often.
Okay.
I had to go to a sister network.
No, we will not name them. You know, I've talked to you a lot through the years, and I never know what to wear when I talk to you. Like, I'm like, should I just dress cool?
Well,
like, how
you
am I
win
dressed?
Today, Alex Mill.
This is an Alex Mill.
I could tell.
It's a well-made garment.
Well, hello.
It's no joke.
No, I'm not. This is not an infomercial, but quality, style, fit, and all that at normal prices.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I remember from Gap, company you ran for many years, way back when. Talk to us about the quality.
Well, you know,
where'd it go?
Where'd it go in cars also, to a degree? I don't know. I think the world's become kind of average in its standards, and average is not good enough to me. I can't undo that. But starting in my first job at Ann Taylor, it was never a second thought to do quality. Not that I'm from the manor born, but never a thought not to give the customer what they should get. Now, my best training program has always been being a customer. And to this day, I look at things that a customer would notice, like a salty dish, too salty, or this, that, or the table keeps rattling, or in some cases, things never get fixed, ever, no matter who you complain to. For me, A to Z, and my team sometimes, they might think it's micromanaging. It's not. It's managing to a customer's expectation and what they should get. Best of class.
Do you do a lot of market research?
None.
None.
But yeah, I do a lot. Talk to people, talk to customers. Can I get a tissue or?
Yeah. Well.
Okay, you edit this.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah. Time out. Ray.
I have a stuffed nose.
No, all good. It's one of the benefits of taping.
She heard.
I
was wondering you heard.
We got you.
Okay, thanks.
There you go.
A little.
Want me to just pick back up after? Yeah. Okay.
So it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. That's right. Anytime I blow my nose.
No, it's okay.
Let me just. So where was I?
Yeah, I'll pick back up.
Yeah.
Do you do any market research?
Yes, a lot, but not hiring market research companies. I speak to customers, or I listen. I visit our shops a lot. Who knows more than someone working on the selling floor. I look, I see, I have an elevator research thing in the building we're at in Soho, because there's 4 or 5 fashion companies. And if they're looking like something I'm interested in, coat, whatever it is, I'll chat, because a lot of them know who I am, because I don't know, whatever. And sometimes I bring them into our office there.
Do you still have the microphone at your desk?
Well, no.
For those for not familiar, tell us about that.
My voice is the microphone. We're small.
Oh.
We have bureaucracies. I've been running some of them. There's a lot of layers, and it's very efficient, although I multitask much more. No microphone necessary. It's like
I remember. Didn't you used to have something on your desk? And like you would project out you would tell everybody if something was happening in the office.
At J. Crew, when I got there, the company was going wherever, and I'd make a lot of calls, and no one's answering, and . And so I think my second week there, I put a microphone in. So, will so and so please give me a call, come to the office. What do you think of the shopping mall in their hometown? Yeah, microphone was kind of a 24/7 news network in a sense. Mm-hmm. And open office hours now. It was a huge benefit for me.
There's before I want to talk about Black Friday and the future of retail, but there's an interesting debate. And you just brought something up about leadership and management. I think it was Airbnb's CEO recently talked about how he likes to be very hands-on. Some would call it micromanaging. Others say, let your employees have more autonomy. Like, where do you fall in that?
Oh, micromanaging is, it's what it is. If you're managing as a leader, you set the tone. And I call it, I'm proud to be a micromanager for what a customer sees, feels, and hears. So yes, I do micromanage, but provide, I guess, leadership. It's kind of not that I have a training class, but people know what is important. And I think leadership, you can't have a really great company without strong leadership. And you always look at the top. Most companies, again, personal opinion, but it's more than personal. When we used to have a few layoffs at J. Crew or Gap, and I don't like to do layoffs, but the economics force that. The next day, things don't really change. And I hear that from my friends in bigger companies or who are on boards, and the layers. And I think most people report upward. That's the important, someone is reporting to the boss. I get to know, especially now, but I knew the team, and the best judge, and they should give reviews, is of the boss. Because, I know I've been through it where, I'm the boss, but it doesn't mean much to me. So leadership and not managing upward. The important thing is managing to your people. And so leadership, real critical. I look at the names of companies. I don't make it a practice, but you see who leads it. Of course, Apple's the best example in the world.
You were on their board, weren't you?
16 years. But, Steve was a unique, once in a lifetime, and a loss to America.
What did you learn about leadership in life from Steve Jobs?
Well, you absorb. Steve was, I didn't learn to be extremely demanding. That's what I have always been. Tough boss, whatever. But detail. And I didn't learn that either. I was at the Gap when I was there. And, in a $15 billion company, Apple, when I joined the board, it's smaller than Gap. Hello. So, but I learned, we were very compatible in a sense. He was a difficult person, mercurial, incredibly creative, and made sure the screws on all the product were horizontal. And if you have a bad button on a jacket, then you look at the bad button.
Is that your screw?
Oh,
on a piece of clothing?
Well, yeah. I always say don't give a customer a reason not to buy something. Well, you edit all this, but I was visited a CEO meeting. My old friend Jeff Sonnenfeld, he has meetings once a year with all the CEOs. I never go because you know what all those meetings
You're a busy guy.
But I went one day. I told him I'd stop by in New York. It was every December. Actually, I don't think he invited me this year. Maybe he did. So in any case, he's showing a picture of the Ford Mustang. It was a red convertible. Now Mustangs at that point, I don't know, 10 years, they always maintained their integrity in design. So he shows me the picture, and this must be 100 whatever in the audience. And I said, I really love Mustangs. I do. I never owned one. I had to say because the chairman was there. But I said, I'd never buy that car. He said, why? I said, the wheels are ugly. And all I see passing by are ugly wheels. And to this day, I feel the same way. But it's much more, to me, the cars have lost that certain edge, except for some of the old classics and standbys. I was invited to Ford Motor Company for a day. I had a friend who was on the board, and I said that, whatever. And so they invited me, and I went into the design room. And I'll never forget. Actually, I did it twice at Ford, because I said twice in a few years something. And they were designing a Lincoln. But they was they. It wasn't a point of view. So they had someone doing, I don't know if they're still doing it, the upholstery, the wheels, the grill. And it's got to be a vision. And I mentioned that. It didn't go over big. He's still a friend, and then I did it a second time. Same thing.
All right, well, hang with that. I mean, I get lost in your stories. This always happens to me. But hang with us, Mickey. We're going to go off for a quick break. We'll be right back on Opening Bid. All right, welcome back to Opening Bid. Having a really cool holiday chat, a little bit of holiday chat, a little bit of fun stories with Mickey Drexler, chairman of Alex Mill, former longtime CEO of Gap, former longtime CEO of J. Crew. You've seen it all and done it all in retail. You know, as we look towards,
you see it all, but then you got to go forward.
You got to go forward. So what do you see? I don't know. Like every time I talk to you around the holiday season, I see the typical promotions out there. It's been an interesting season. We're after the election. Like, what's your vibe on the holidays and how things might shake out?
Well, you know, I've seen over time the discounting go and grow, and I call it now Black November. Because all the pre-Black holiday sales, and it's easy to see. You go online, you see everything. And I think when I started my career at Bloomingdale's, I learned competitively about high and low. I used to call it high-low. Mm-hmm. And then it was just department stores, wasn't really. Certain department stores would go, they'd take an excess markup higher than the normal, so that when it was put on sale, their normal margin was then, on sale because they wanted to show the sale price. Now, this weekend, I went through a lot of companies. It's curious as much as anything.
I love you're still doing this work.
Yeah,
like you're still in the trenches.
I know, so I look at companies now more and more. I see deals online. Now that was so not allowed with me in the old companies, because you're telling a loyal customer comes into the store and they get one thing. You go online, there's 40% off the entire company. So the only thing I'm saying, let them do that, but give it to all customers. I learned that lesson as a kid in the business. One store has this, the other store has that at a lower price. That's the end of the store's trust. For me, it wasn't even, I had to have experience. I'm a customer. So I see that going on a lot. And then once in a while, if I make a mistake and watch network television, everything they have in the 3 networks, no offense to you, 50% off everything. Oh, on sale for you, on sale for everything's on sale. And people are really smart. We do not do on sale. We do it in July, and we do it in at the end of the summer and the end after Christmas. And we're having a little private thing this Friday. We've never done that, but it's only to sale customers.
I mean, do you think, what's your read on the consumer?
Well, I call around, and I feel it sometimes. I think, and Target's, I don't know if that's indicative of the environment or indicative of whatever. And those companies, I've learned that they're mostly food companies. So Walmart should report in the supermarket category. Well, I guess supermarkets.
Huge business,
report.
supermarkets for them now.
Yeah, and Target, and price amazing, huge quantity in bulks. My read is a couple of things, and it's personal, but you see it out there and it gets reinforced. I think the lower income consumers getting very much pressured on goods. I think the consumer at any end, and it was easy to say they travel, they go here, they go there, and I kind of, the experiential word is used too often. But I think I go to restaurants, and again, a lot of it's just my own research, and people say, well, I don't go into McDonald's or this or what. But what I hear from friends and my observations, that people are in fact spending on themselves. They're going to restaurants, they're traveling, and whatever else is on that list, or treating themselves. The upper end consumer, well, the prices in our business, beyond comprehension. And I think that there's a fatigue going on, and do I really need to spend this for a cashmere
Prices
sweater?
out there are out of control.
Out of control.
$300 for, I'm not going to mention the name, $300 hoodie and a pair of joggers, and this doesn't, I mean, the quality,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like this.
Yeah,
sweater.
well, that sweater, we have it in cashmere, we have it there in cotton, and the equivalent. Well, I look at all the shops. I'm looking to learn and this and that. The prices for a good cashmere sweater today, not among everyone. There are those that don't have so good; they sell it cheap. Our cashmere business, and I was nervous about that, but it's really very strong. Best quality. And people say it. I always listen to customers. I don't care. That's the important thing. And their reason, like that sweater in cashmere, which is men's sweater, but woman, as is always, buy lots of it. It's, I believe, $295. Cashmere, I see, priced from $1,500 to $3,000 or more.
Well, it's special cashmere, of course.
Yeah, right.
Come
Well,
on. It's going to make you superhuman.
Right. Well, at J. Crew, we did use Laura Piano cashmere, but we still, the yarn part of it is not the biggest expense, sometimes, or make. But I think there's fatigue going on in the marketplace on prices. I love the term, and I think it's probably one of the best and most crowded stores or most shop your closet. And shopping your closet, I know personally people who do it, and that's part of the research. You go through, like this blazer. I've always bought to shop it wasn't planned 30 or 40 years ago, but this is a very old blazer.
Still look cool in it.
And it's, feel
You look good. No,
feel the goods.
No, you're good.
And I amortized
Yeah.
the price, because when I was young, I couldn't afford to buy things that I would love, but I would buy selectively. And I felt like, ooh, I'm wearing a Gucci buckle shoe. That takes me way back. But now,
Does the price of apparel, if we get some tariffs, like does a beautiful sweater like this double in price?
Well, I think it goes up. Now, we're all a little afraid of that, and no one's very sure. And I don't see, I'm not an economist, how it doesn't increase inflation, especially since, so many goods, parts of cars, everything else are made in China. And it will not be good for the consumer or for us retailers. I'm guessing 15 to 20%, because the tariff is only on. I'm not an expert on this.
A lot of retail executives I ask, I'm like, well, what is your move likely to be? No, we'll just move to Vietnam. We'll move to Cambodia. Those aren't easy things to do, right?
Of course not.
They make it sound easy.
Well,
but there's got to be cost.
Well, maybe you have to speak to the production executives who go to. We have factories that we have long-term relations with. Now, the good news is a lot of factories have always had other country manufacturing, because the last tariff increase, I think, was 8%, maybe, I don't know how many years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. And people are prepared. For us, it's a little more challenging because we have to meet minimum quantities. And so we have to find factories outside of China, let's say, that do minimum things we can manage. And then there's Portugal. And then there's, I heard, someone told me, Jordan is a place where, I read that, but then I asked, there's manufacturing in Jordan. So people are doing that. America, we do all our jeans in America, and they're really like well-known, famous. We got some great factories, but America manufacturing is kind of used to be, but it's not so much anymore.
Can Gap bring manufacturing here back to the U.S.? Like, that's just out of the question.
I think out of the question, except no, you can't. And,
they're just too big.
Well,
These
cars can't either.
Yeah.
Although I know fancy cars get made here from Germany, but I don't know what the costs are there.
Is there an apparel retailer? So, as I was thinking about this conversation the other night, on one end we have like a little bit of a comeback at Gap. Stocks are doing well. We have Levi's not doing so well. Jeans maybe not selling. Abercrombie doing pretty well. Is there an apparel retail that's impressing you right now?
Well, I have very high standards, and I don't like to mention any competitors positively. I didn't learn that from Steve, but that was the case there. You couldn't mention it in the boardroom. But yeah, there are some, but I'm thinking, I have a few, and I would say them, well, TJX.
They're good.
I always say,
they know what they're doing.
Carol Meyerowitz, the best. And the interesting thing about them, they're the biggest department store in the world, probably at 60 billion or whatever, with earnings that are very, very beautiful. But their pricing, well, first of all, and I read a quote the other day that when and if tariffs come, their business will even get better because there'll be more goods to buy from the manufacturers. Why do they impress me? Because they keep doing it, and they do it, and you go in and you know what the price is.
Also, they don't compete with Alex Bill. Well, you technically didn't mention a competitor.
Right.
I'm just saying.
But I always admired her.
Yep.
She's done a spectacular job, and a customer doesn't have to play price bingo. Mm-hmm. They see the price. They don't have to worry about it going on sale. Now, what's happening now, I think, is people are waiting. But if you looked at the promotions, pre-Black Friday sales, and what's going to happen on Black Friday? I call it Black November, as I said. And Friday, I guess they'll have to have real Black Friday. I don't know.
We have to leave it there. I don't know where 25 minutes goes with
that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I need to have you back because I want to go into more of your life and career. Ray, our producer's in the back, top flight producer. Please, we're going to have Mickey back because
Ray,
he's just.
Where's Ray?
Yeah, she's on the room.
Ray. There's Ray.
Yeah, we need to talk about his career because he's as the younger generation would say, and OG. Mickey Drexler, chairman of Alex Mill. Good to see you as always. You've always made time for me, and I've always appreciated it.
And of course, Alex Mill is started by my son, Alex. And there comes
And you're
the name.
Millard.
I'm Millard, but no.
Okay.
When he first, I said, Alex, don't use my name. He said, what do you mean use your name? Anyway.
Alex Mill. There we
Okay.
go. Good to see you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. All right, that's it for the latest episode of Opening Bid. Please do hit us with those likes on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. We appreciate all that love. We very much feel it all the time. We'll talk to you soon.